All right, so today I'm gonna come at you folks with a my first 32 team mock draft for this coming draft that starts on Thursday. Um, so let's get to it. This is the first time the NFL will ever have to do a virtual draft due to the pandemic. You all know what I'm talking about. Hope everyone's staying safe, but this should be a change of pace. Get your minds off it and give you something to do and watch. So, in the first, this is just first round. So pick one belongs to Cincinnati Bengals. No surprise here. They're going to get Joe Burrow, quarterback out of LSU. Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterback available. Cincinnati's going to slowly move on from Andy Dalton. And I think it's going to be a quarterback battle this year for him to even be the starter the season. Moving on to pick two here. Washington Redskins again. No questions asked. Washington Redskins are going to select Chase Young. Ron Rivera is a defensive coach, and I think Chase Young is a more fine-tuned player coming out of college than some of the other top guys like a Bosa or either Bosa or any of the Bosa brothers, I should say. I think he's just a finer player. He has a little bit better technique and just a more natural athlete. So I see Washington drafting him. Round three. Pick three belongs to Detroit Lions. Bob Quinn expressed earlier this week that the Lions are shopping the number three pick, and I think Miami's going to win the shop here. So here I have the Miami Dolphins trading up. The Lions receive pick 5 and 26 of this year's first round, as well as pick 56 in the second round and pick 154. I believe that's a fourth round selection. So Miami has to pull out all the stops to move up, and they get their quarterback of the future, Tua Tagovailoa. I know I pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. Quarterback of Alabama. His workout videos I've seen have been pretty good, so that's where they're going to go there. Pick 4 belongs to New York Giants. No surprise here. They're going to go Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle of Iowa. He's the best offensive tackle. He does have a lot of upside. That's why they're going to draft him. They got to help build their offensive line to keep Daniel Jones on his feet. Give him a little bit more time because he was one of the top quarterbacks that was sacked last year. Just a big need for the Giants here. As I said, pick 5 now belongs to the Detroit Lions after the trade with Miami. And here they're going to surprise everybody by getting Isaiah Simmons, the defensive back at Clemson. He can play linebacker, he can play nickel, he can play corner, he can play safety. This guy is a pure athlete. I think the best player in the draft. Maybe a little bit behind Chase Young, but by far one of the best players in the draft. And I think Detroit here has the chance to still get the player that they wanted to get at 3, so that's why they trade back with Miami. Pick 6 belongs to the Chargers. Los Angeles Chargers here, they select Justin Herbert, quarterback at Oregon. They don't have Phillip Rivers anymore, so they're going to bring in a young guy. Sorry, guys. Every time. They're going to bring in a young guy, Justin Herbert, who has leadership. He's been a starter at Oregon for so many years, so I really do like that pick there. Carolina Panthers, they're going to pick up Derek Brown, defensive line out of Auburn. He can play the edge or the 3 technique. Just a very physical guy, high motor, and will finish plays. Doesn't give up on plays, I should say. Really good pick there. The Arizona Cardinals have pick 8. They're going to get Jedrick Williams, offensive tackle of Alabama. They need to help keep Kyler Murray healthy. I believe bringing in an offensive tackle is going to help with that. This guy is one of the best plug-and-play players in the draft at the offensive tackle position, so I believe that's what they're going to go here. At pick 9, Jacksonville Jaguars are going to select their replacement for Jalen Ramsey, which is going to be Jeff Okudah, the corner of OSU. Very good prospect. I think he's still a little bit raw. I don't think he's that good to compare him to Ramsey or any other corner, but I think he could potentially be that player that they want him to be. Pick 10 belongs to Cleveland Browns. Again, Baker Mayfield didn't have a lot of protection this last year. So they're going to go with McKee Becton, offensive tackle out of Louisville. Again, trenches, got to keep your quarterback healthy. It's not the fanciest pick, but they could go defense as well, but I think they're going to go offensive line. Pick 11 goes to New York Jets. I really think that they're going to get Sam Darnold here, a weapon here. And this is going to be the first wide receiver taken off the board. That's CeeDee Lamb, the wide receiver of Oklahoma. He could potentially go to Arizona as well, but as I said, they go offensive line. CeeDee Lamb, best wide receiver in the draft. Very good player, very good personality, very good off the field, everything. Good health history. So I think CeeDee Lamb there. And then going on a string here with wide receivers at pick 12, the Las Vegas Raiders. They're going to bring in a weapon in Jerry Jeudy, wide receiver at Alabama. This could potentially be Henry Ruggs, but I think they look for more of a bigger wide receiver. Jerry Jeudy is a good route runner. I think Derek Carr needs a wide receiver to throw the ball to. So Las Vegas Raiders there are going to get that. Pick 13, San Francisco 49ers are going defense. They are going to replace the Buckner with Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle out of South Carolina. I believe that's going to be an excellent pick there. Build their defensive line like they have in the last 4 drafts. The Niners have very good luck with defensive linemen, so I can see that right there. Moving on to the next pick. Pick 14 belongs to Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who brought in Tom Brady here. So it's going to be Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle at Georgia. You got to keep Brady healthy. You got to build your offensive line. Jameis Winston hasn't signed with the team as of yet, and he was sacked very often. And I think had to do a lot with him holding on to the ball, but I also think the offensive line needed a lot of improvement. Andrew Thomas, they got to keep Brady healthy because if Brady gets hurt, they're pretty much screwed. So Andrew Thomas, offensive tackle at Georgia there. Pick 15 is a little interesting. I think that Clavon Cherison, defensive end out of LSU, is going to actually jump up the board and be drafted by Denver. I think that he is a very athletic defensive end, and I think that he could be a plug and play in Denver, and immensely improve their pass rush, which they really did lack last year. And I believe him having Von Miller as well as can't think of the other guy's name, but Bradley Chubb, right? And pass rush, I think that just solidifies their defense right there. So that's why I've been picking here. They could potentially go wide receiver or defensive back, but I think D-line is more of a need for them. Even a quarterback, I know they have Drew Lock, but let's face it, this is it's just the way the leagues work anymore. You got to find your guy that's going to work with your scheme. So, moving on to pick 16, Atlanta Falcons here. They really don't have a lot of needs, maybe corner, but I think that you have the years for Julio Jones are numbered. I think they need to find themselves another deep threat guy. Calvin Ridley is a very good wide receiver as well. They lost, I believe they lost Hooper. So I think Henry Ruggs, wide receiver Alabama, he's available. He's the most explosive player in the draft. If Atlanta can land him, I think that would be a excellent combination. Give Matt Ryan a little bit more targets to throw to, a little bit different schemes and stuff like that. Moving on to the next pick at 17, Dallas Cowboys. Byron Jones was released. They really need a lot of defensive back help. So C.J. Henderson, cornerback out of Florida, I think he comes in and plays the CB2 this year, potentially CB1. I do really like this corner. He's a big physical guy. Other than that, move on to pick 18. The Miami Dolphins are back on the board. As I said, they did draft Tua. Their offensive line is shaky at best. And I believe they bring in Austin Jackson, offensive tackle out of USC, to help protect him, because Tua does have that his injury issues. So you got to keep him healthy as well as building offensive line for the future. So I think Austin Jackson's going to be an excellent pickup here for them. Pick 19 belongs to Las Vegas Raiders again. Here they could go many ways, but I think Xavier McKinney, the safety out of Alabama here, would be the best pick for them. Very good athlete, very good eyes, very disciplined. He did play for Alabama, so he played top tier talent, and he did have a few good games this past season. Pick 20, Jacksonville Jaguars. They've lost a lot of their linebacking core due to injuries and retirement and such forth. So Kenneth Murray, linebacker out of Oklahoma, here to help fill those needs at linebacker for them. Pick 21 belongs to Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like the Eagles need to boost their offensive line after the Lions did picked up their one tackle. I can't pronounce his name, but they're going to go Josh Jones off tackle at Houston. Trenches again. You got to keep your quarterbacks healthy. By far the most important position on the field any time of the week. So Josh Jones there. Pick 22 belongs to the Minnesota Vikings. I believe they're going to get a weapon for Kirk Cousins here, and that is going to be Justin Jefferson, wide receiver out of LSU. This is a very deep draft at wide receiver, and I think Justin Jefferson is the third best wide receiver that has been taken so far. I think that he's a very good player. That's all I can really say. I really haven't watched a lot of film on him. I just know he's a really good player. He makes a lot of plays. He knows how to get open. So I think Kirk Cousins is going to be a good quarterback to throw him some balls, because Kirk Cousins is by far one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the league, especially when he's pissed off or having to prove himself. Pick 23 belongs to New England Patriots. No surprise here. Tom Brady's gone, and I think that Bill Belichick sees something in Jordan Love, the quarterback out of Utah, so he's going to pick him up. I know this isn't normally the Patriot way. They normally don't draft quarterbacks in the first round, but they don't have anyone really on their team to play quarterback. And I think Jordan Love here is a player that you can actually build around, build some schemes. He's kind of like a dual threat. He's a very interesting prospect. He's very raw, and I think he has the highest ceiling of all the quarterbacks being taken here. So Jordan Love will be the fourth quarterback taken in this draft. Moving on to pick 24, the New Orleans Saints here. They're going to go defensive trenches with Ross Blacklock, defense tackle of TCU. Again, got to build trenches on defensive line and offensive line. I think that's right there's a good pick. Minnesota Vikings, again, their defensive line is being deteriorated due to them drafting such good talent and them leaving in free agency to seek that high dollar penny that they are entitled to. So Minnesota here again drafts defensive line. They get Yetur Gross-Matos, defensive end, Penn State. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I worked all morning on trying to pronounce it, but that's what I have them picking here. Especially being a Big Ten area, they did have a lot of time to watch this kid play and progress. Moving on to pick 26, which did belong to Miami before they traded it to Detroit. Here is where the draft can get really interesting. Detroit could potentially trade this pick again to another team and pick up some additional picks because they have so many holes to fill. But for this, I'm just doing the way it is, minus the one trade I had with them. And I think Detroit's going to go with DeAndre Swift, the running back out of Georgia. Kerryon Johnson really hasn't stayed healthy. I know it has a lot to do with the offensive line and other things as well. But I think DeAndre Swift comes in and he helps Kerryon with two different aspects. DeAndre Swift's more of a I wouldn't say one cut, but more of like a power back. He's more of a downhill running back. As for Kerryon Johnson, he likes to do that flashy moves. He's not really much of a power guy. He's more of a change of pace guy, in my opinion, and more of the passing game. And I think DeAndre Swift coming in will help him improve, as well as improve the Lions' rushing game dramatically. I think they will finally have a 1,000-yard rusher if they bring in DeAndre Swift. Moving on to the Seattle Seahawks. Again, Going defense, Patrick Queen, linebacker, LSU, very good athlete, can read the ball, very good play recognition, high motor skills. I really do like that kid as well. Moving on to pick 28, Baltimore Ravens, Zach Barn, defensive end, outside linebacker, out of Wisconsin. High motor kid, good athlete, played top competition beating in the Big Ten. Not much more to say about that. Tennessee Titans, again, defensive end, outside linebacker, AJ Espinoza, out of Iowa. Green Bay Packers at pick 30. They're going to get Isaiah Wilson, offensive tackle at Georgia. Got to keep Aaron Rodgers healthy. Not much more to say about that. Trenches, again. Pick 31 belongs to the 49ers, and I believe they go defense, and they pick up the corner and Trayvon Diggs out of Alabama. Again, Alabama, top-tier talent, playing against Clemson, Auburn, and all those top schools. I can't think of the conference right now, but anyway, last pick 32, Kansas City Chiefs, Antonio Winfield Jr., the safety. I forgot to put down where he's from, but anyway, Antonio Winfield Jr., he's a safety. I can't remember the school exactly. I forgot to write it down in my notes here, but Antonio Winfield goes to Kansas City. Sorry, this is a longer video. I tried to make it as short as possible, but I wanted to give you analysis on the players and what I thought. Like, subscribe to my channel. Let me know what you thought about this 32 pick mock draft. I was going to do more trades, but that would have made the video longer. There could be 2 or 3 trades in the first round. I don't think there's going to be as many as there has been in the past due to it not being a live thing or having it virtual rather than live with all the teams at the same place. So let me know what you guys think of this. I'm going to try to come out with at least one more mock draft, at least one more Detroit Lions 7-round mock draft before the draft is on Thursday. Like, subscribe to my channel, as I said, hit that thumbs up button, and I'm out.